In this second episode, I take you to discover a different facet of Egypt. After a journey of 12 hours of trains going down south, I reached the mysterious city of Aswan, far away from the hustle of Cairo. Here, the banks of the Nile whisper ancient tales, and local traditions endure through the centuries. I didn't know it yet, but it was here in Aswan that I finally encountered the real soul of Egypt. I was very excited to see my first ancient temple, so I woke up at dawn in my beautiful hostel with view of the Nile, ready to explore one of the most famous places in Aswan and also one of the most sacred sites in Egyptian mythology. Located in the middle of the river, we will need to take a boat to reach it, providing a stunning view of this magnificent structure.
So today we finally made it to the temple of Philae, which is the temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. It was a little bit hard to come in here. We had to take a taxi first to go to the ferry and then to the ferry pay the entrance, which is 3,000 Egyptian pounds for foreigners. I think it's the same price for every temple, but we also had to take a boat, which is 200 Egyptian pounds for go and return. I think it's that okay. It's a bit expensive for all of the stuff. But anyway, this temple is one of the most beautiful here in Aswan.
The temple of Philae is covered in hieroglyphs that tell the story of Isis and the Egyptian gods. This masterpiece of Ptolemaic architecture, with its column and detailed bas-reliefs, is a true gem of Egyptian art. Isis is the goddess of magic and healing. She is known for her central role in Egyptian myth. According to legend, she gathered the pieces of Osiris' body, her husband, after he was killed and dismembered by his brother Set. This sacred quest led Isis to the island of Philae, where she reassembled Osiris' body, giving this place a unique dimension.
This chamber where I'm at now, it's called the birth chamber because probably they used to bring women to give it birth here. Because again, we are in the temple of Isis, which is the goddess of life, mother and fertility.
The temple locations on an island symbolize Isis' role as a protector and healer, bringing fertility and rebirth through the water of the Nile. Philae was an important pilgrimage center, attracting worshippers who came to honor the goddess and seek her blessings. However, Egypt had to protect this priceless treasure from the rising water caused by the constructions of the Aswan Dam. The temple was dismantled and reconstructed on the neighboring island of Agilkia. This monumental relocations project has allowed the temple of Philae to be preserved for the future generation.
We decided to not take a taxi for come back to the hostel, so we walked all the way back, such like almost 2 hours. And now we are in the middle of Nubian village. We are very close to the hostel. I'm super tired, I feel super hot and also super thirsty.
The neighborhood of Aswan along the Nile bear a strong Nubian influence. The mud brick and adobe houses here are less colorful than those in more touristy reproductions of Nubian village, but they are at least really authentic. With friends I met in my hostel, we wandered through those narrow alleys, both amazed by the architecture and overwhelmed by stifling heat.
So after 2 hours walking, we are back to the hostel. Hostel just behind me. It's a very, very nice hostel. Also, I don't want to hide the reality. Egypt can be really dirty sometimes. There is a lot of trash everywhere in the street, and I mean, it's the reality, you know, you come to visit a poor country, so obviously it's the kind of thing that you're gonna see. And it's very sad because the rest of Egypt is really, really beautiful. I'm super tired actually, super tired, I feel so hot, I'm thirsty. I think I'm gonna go for Coca-Cola. And after I hear that we can swim in the Nile, so it could be so nice. I think I'm gonna go for that. It's refreshing, but not too hot, which is nice, and not too cold as well. After this hard day, it's really nice to be here. there is a lot of rocks, so I put my swimming shoes or river shoes, depending where you come from, you call this differently. But yeah, still nice for walk on a rock and don't fall. I just hope there is no crocodile here. Ooh. Oh, it's very cold. Oh, that's actually super nice. Oh, that's super nice. Oh, it's amazing. Swimming in the Nile. So it was an amazing day today. We went to see the temple of Philae, which was really beautiful. I went with my friend just there. I meet them in the hostel. They are from Argentina. A little bit of Latin America here in my travel to Egypt. So it was nice to have someone with me there, because I'm really bad for doing negotiations with the price and people here. I know that for visit those countries you have to be good for that, but it's really not my cup of tea. So I'm happy to be with friends. So at first I thought that Egypt would not be a friendly backpackers country, but I realized by coming here in Aswan that it was actually, especially in this hostel, which everyone is super nice, and I met also a lot of other travelers. It was really, really beautiful. Okay, I'm stopping, I will stop to talk now because I'm swimming at the same time, which is crazy.
Swimming in the water of the Nile can have a deeply spiritual dimension. As a sacred river symbolizing life, fertility and renewal, those waters are considered purifying and rejuvenating, serving as a spiritual link between the people and the gods. This sacred aspect stems from its annual floods that brought nutrient-rich silt to the surrounding lands, fostering a prosperous agriculture. For centuries, one could spot the famous feluccas sailing on those waters, traditional sailboats once used for transporting goods and people. To me, they more represent the romantic and nostalgic image of the Nile, embodying a traditional way of life and the connections to old history.
It's 4 a.m. Today we wake up super early because we're gonna take a bus to go to Abu Simbel, which is a temple. I'll explain to you later. I took the tour with my hostel, which is just behind me. It will be like 3 hours, I think, by bus. We go very early because we want to arrive before noon to enjoy a little bit of the temple. I think we're gonna have just 2 or 3 hours to the temple, which is, I think, okay. After a bit of 3 hours by bus, maybe a bit more, we arrived to Abu Simbel and we just buy the ticket, which is quite expensive, 415. I thought it will be 300 like the other temple, but this one is a little bit more, so I hope it will be better than the other one. It's a very interesting fact about the Abu Simbel temple. It was relocated in 1968 for avoid to be submerged by the water after the constructions of a big dam in the lake Nasser. So before was here and now it's there. So the first statue you see behind me, it's a representations of Ramses II. This guy was a little bit narcissistic, I think. You also have the temple of Nefertari, as well as the temple of Hathor, the goddess of love and music. You can see on the big wall the representation of Ramses II and Nefertari at the same height for show the equality between the queen and the pharaoh.
The Temple of Abu Simbel is one of the architectural gems of ancient Egypt, located near Lake Nasser on the southern border of Egypt with Sudan. It was constructed during the reigns of Ramses II in the 13th centuries BC. This colossal temple is dedicated to the glory of the pharaoh, deified as a god as it was customary for pharaoh at this time. Inside the temple, the chambers are richly decorated with finely sculpted bas-reliefs depicting Ramses II's military victories and mythological scenes.
We just arrived at 8 a.m. It's already 1 million of people. It's also super hot and the sun is very strong. So I really recommend you to go really early to see this place. But even at 8 a.m, as you can see, there is already a lot of tourists. And we are not even in a higher season. So this is our final day in Aswan, and for this day we're gonna do something really special. I didn't expect doing that here by coming in Aswan. We're gonna do kayaking, and I hope we not fall. So we're actually kayaking on the Nile. It's really beautiful. It's actually really calm. I'm very surprised because yesterday was a lot of current here, but it's really easy to kayak here. The challenge of the day today is to find a crocodile, the crocodile on the Nile. I'm with those two French crazy guys as well. We just find the lost Iceland on the Nile. It looks like someone just decided to live here. There is a bed. He already put some decoration with a plant. The legend used to say that Jack Sparrow lived there. Wow. Finally, we found a path to disembark here on the beautiful island of Sahel in the middle of the Nile, and we're gonna see something very special on this island. It's called rock inscriptions. There is an entrance to pay. At the hostel they told us it will be 30, but they asked for 60. Artlist is still cheap, so we didn't negotiate, but yeah, it's always double price when you're a tourist. But I think the most amazing part here is the view.
Those inscriptions on the rock date back to the Old Kingdom. They include royal decrees, religious texts dedicated to the deities such as Khnum, the god of the Nile, and historical and geographical information. Those precious testimonies provide us with a glimpse into ancient Egyptian civilization and its deep connections with the Nile.
So now we go to take the ferry for go to Elephant Island. It's the island in the middle of the Nile. Okay, let's go on a boat with a lot of friends. Hi. As I'm actually really starving because it's almost 3 p.m. and we still didn't eat nothing. We're gonna come to this very nice restaurant. It's called King Jamaica here on Elephant Island.
After a delicious meal, we set out to explore Elephant Island, known as one of the oldest inhabited areas in Egypt, dating back to prehistory. It served as an important religious and commercial center to root Egyptian history. There we wander extensively among the Nubian steel houses. The Nubian people, who have inhabited the Aswan region for centuries, are known for their warm hospitality, rich craftsmanship and functional architecture adapted to the local climate. Despite modern challenge, the Nubian of Elephant Island have preserved their traditions, and in my opinion, is the best place to learn more about these people. But I will let you discover that for yourself on your next trip to Aswan. As my time is running out, I will embark soon on my next adventure. I'm really sad to leave this magical place, where the golden sunlight bathes the Nile in its reflections, giving the sensations of experiencing another time among the gods of Egypt.
Time to say goodbye to the team. Yeah, so it's time to leave Aswan. I really love this place. It's really peaceful, really quiet. Really, I recommend you to go there if you come to Egypt. It's the best place probably. And now we're gonna take a van for go from Aswan to Luxor, and it's gonna be in the next video. And we're gonna see some hidden temples, quite not touristy. So it's gonna be really amazing. So I recommend you to subscribe to the channel if you wanna see the next video. And for me, I catch you the next adventure.